alluded to the Sangata Sutra a few times, but I've said this before, but I very much like, there's this one part toward the end where there's a bodhisattva, and then all these beings come, and they want teachings. And the bodhisattva says, oh, wait, no, before I give teachings, why don't you have some delicious food and delicious drinks? And then, once you're satisfied, then I'll give the teaching. And then those beings who've come for the teachings, they then in unison say, oh, no. We don't need food, we don't need drink, we don't need pizza, we need the sublime Dharma, food will become excrement, drink will become urine, like we don't need that stuff. We desire supreme enlightenment, so please give us the teaching. Huh? Okay, yes, hold, beep, beep. Excuse me? Hey, I once was a teaching assistant for second grade, and sometimes the teacher will say, okay guys, now it's silent time, so no one talking, okay? Then, invariably, one of the students, 8-year-olds, will talk. But then, one of the other students, then to tattle on the other student, will say, he's talking, right? But then the other one will say, no, but he's talking, telling me that I was talking. Right? 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 Yes. The Buddha's appearing just in, many ways according to the needs of sentient beings. So let's continue.
Stanza, please.
Stanza 7. Stanza 7. All the Buddhas who have contemplated for many eons have seen it to be beneficial, for by it the limitless mass of beings will quickly attain the state of supreme bliss. Those who wish to destroy the many sorrows of their conditioned existence, those who wish all beings to experience a multitude of joys, and those who wish to experience much happiness should never forsake the awakening mind. The moment an awakening mind arises in those fettered and weak in the jail of psychic existence, they'll be named a child of the Sugatas and will be revered by both humans and gods of the world. It is like the supreme gold-making elixir, for it transforms the unclean body we have taken into the priceless jewel of the Buddha form. Therefore firmly seize this awakening mind. Since the limitless mind, the sole guide of the world, the Buddha, has, upon thorough investigation, seen its preciousness, all beings wishing to be free from worldly abodes should firmly take hold of this precious awakening mind. All other virtues are like plantain trees, for after bearing fruit they simply perish, yet the perennial tree of the awakening mind unceasingly bears fruit and thereby flourishes without end. Like entrusting myself to a brave man when greatly afraid, by entrusting myself to this awakening mind I shall be swiftly liberated, even if I have committed extremely unbearable wrongs. Why then do the conscientious not devote themselves to this? Just like the fire at the end of an age, it instantly consumes all great wrongdoing. Its unfathomable advantages were taught to the disciple Sudana by the wise Lord Maitreya. In brief, the awakening mind should be understood to be of two types: the mind that aspires to awaken and the mind that ventures to do so. It is understood by the distinction between aspiring to go and actually going. So the wise understand in turn the distinction between these two. So this is now discussing, there's two divisions of the awakening mind, right? The aspirational bodhicitta and the aspiring bodhicitta. And the difference is just like aspiring to go somewhere and actually going out to go there, right? So we can, I want to go to Lalbagh Gardens. Do we like that place?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, that's the one in Bangalore, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's the one in Delhi?
Lodi.
Lodi, yeah. So which is where? Bangalore. Lodi's in Delhi.
Lalbagh is here.
Lalbagh. Okay. See? I like both places. Anyway, so we can wish, I want to go to Lalbagh Gardens, but just be sitting here, right? But then that wish is needed, because without that wish, we wouldn't just go, right? First we have the wish, and then we start to go. So similarly, we can have the wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, but then we have to then engage in actual practices, which is described here in the text. Okay? So that's the difference between the aspiring bodhicitta and the engaging bodhicitta. Okay? So, 17. Although great fruits occur in cyclic existence from the mind that aspires to awaken, an uninterrupted flow of merit does not ensue as it does with the venturing mind, venturing or engaging bodhicitta. Okay? And for those who have perfectly seized this mind, with the thought never to turn away from totally liberating the infinite forms of life, from that time hence, even while asleep or unconcerned, a force of merit equal to the sky will perpetually ensue. So, this is again one of the benefits of the engaging mind, right? It's like that everything we do, even sleeping, becomes an action to further us along the path to enlightenment, right? So we can even sleep with the motivation of bodhicitta, right? Thinking, I'm so tired from all my virtuous activities today, so I'm going to rest now so I can have renewed energy to continue my practice tomorrow, right? Yes? Even eating, same thing. Anything, I won't say any, but maybe 99% of activities, right, they can become extremely and powerfully virtuous through conjoining with bodhicitta, right? Which is what I think all of us need, right? Because, our actual amount of time to do formal practice and study is limited, right? So then if we can, what they say, transform ordinary daily activities into the path, then eating, sleeping, walking, talking, whatever, right? Going to parties. Yes. Mindfully, I'm saying, with bodhicitta, right? Yeah, it's true. Okay. For the sake of those inclined to the lesser vehicle, this was logically asserted by the Tathagata himself in the sutra requested by Subahu. even the thought to relieve living creatures of merely a headache is a beneficial intention endowed with infinite goodness, then what need is there to mention the wish to dispel their inconceivable misery, wishing every single one of them to realize boundless good qualities? Do even fathers and mothers have such a benevolent intention as this? Do the gods and sages? Does even Brahma have it? If even those beings have never before even dreamt of such an attitude for their own sake, how would it ever arise for the sake of others? So this, just in this little one stanza, it describes how, we were talking about the three capabilities of practitioner, okay? So the middle scope, where we're meditating on the faults of samsara, right? How, samsara is characterized by one type of suffering or another, okay? That can also be a shared practice of a Mahayana practitioner, okay? So it's actually a necessary prerequisite, because without fully understanding the faults and drawbacks of samsara, right, you can't really have the compassion, right, that wishes others to be free from suffering, a fully qualified one. It could be like, limited. We can only think of the sufferings that we see and know, right? Suffering of sickness and hunger, poverty, so forth. But the fundamental suffering that sentient beings have is being bound by karma and afflictions, right? And that's the type of compassion that wishes for them to be free of that, not just being free of headaches and so forth. Okay? You understand? This intention to beneficent beings, all beings, which does not arise in others even for their own sake, is an extraordinary jewel of the mind, and its birth is an unprecedented wonder. How can I fathom the depths of the goodness of this jewel of the mind, the panacea that relieves the world of pain and is the source of all this joy? If merely even a benevolent intention excels veneration of the Buddhas, then what need to mention striving to make all beings without exception happy? Though wishing to be rid of misery, they run toward misery itself. Though wishing to have happiness like an enemy, they ignorantly destroy it. For those who are deprived of happiness and burdened with many sorrows, it satisfies them with all joys and dispels all suffering, and clears away confusion. Where is there comparable virtue? Where is there even such a friend? Where is there merit similar to this? If whoever repays a kind deed is worthy of some praise, then what need to mention the Bodhisattvas who do good without it being asked of them? The world honors as virtuous one who sometimes give a little plain food disrespectfully to a few beings which satisfies them for only half a day. What need be said then of one who eternally bestows the peerless bliss of the Sagatas upon limitless numbers of beings, thereby fulfilling all their hopes? The Buddha has said that whoever bears a harmful thought against the benefactors of the Bodhisattva will remain in hell for many eons as there were harmful thoughts. However, if a virtuous attitude should arise in that regard, its fruits will multiply far more than that. When bodhisattvas greatly suffer, they generate no negativity. Instead, their virtues naturally increase. I bow down to the body of those in whom the sacred precious mind is born. I seek refuge in that source of joy, who brings happiness even to those who bring harm. So, the other thing to mention, see, the Buddha has said whoever bears a harmful thought against a benefactor such as a bodhisattva will remain in hell for as many eons as there were harmful thoughts. One doesn't have to know that that person is a bodhisattva. You understand? So even they don't appear like a bodhisattva. They appear just like some, annoying person. Okay? Then they do something we don't like, we get angry at them, but they're actually a bodhisattva. Very, very heavy negative karma. Right? Which is another reason the Kadampa said, treat everyone as if they were a Buddha. Right? kind of nice to think about it also in this way, right? We have faith in the Buddha. We want to become a Buddha one day. So, you know, like the Christians have, what would Jesus do? You heard? So we can have, you know, what would Buddha do? What would a Bodhisattva do? Okay? So in that time, someone criticizes us. It's not nice. Right? Stings. What's going on? Actually, our ego is hurt. All this stuff we'll talk about later. But at that time, okay, then the one easy way is like, okay, well, how would a Buddha react? How would a Bodhisattva react right now? And then just do that. Don't let the fact that we're not Buddhas, we're not Bodhisattvas, prevent us from acting like a Buddha or Bodhisattva. Yes? Pizza time.